Hi all, let's look at the referencing list now. So in your case, it is going to be Harvard AGPS, as in text referencing as well. This is called the in-text reference list, which you paste at the end of your essay. There is a difference between a bibliography and a reference list. Therefore, stick to the heading of references, as you will be including all the material that you have used within the essay. In the first place, I would like you to look at the reference list formatting. So this is it. When you go to USQ site, you will figure out what to click. But in the first place, I will take you to reference list. It includes several types of sources. So it depends on the sources that you use. Therefore, it could either be books, journals, newspaper articles, web documents, reports, etc. Therefore, make sure that you align your reference with the proper source. When it comes to books in the first place, so if it's going to be one author, you can just have the name, last name, obviously, first, and then a comma. So the significance with Harvard in-text is the initials of the authors, which need to be closer together. If an author is having more than one initials, then they need to be written closer. No commas, no full stops. So it's a bit different from APA. However, this is how you need to write. So for example, this is what it looks like. Chang SS. That means two middle names starting from S. And then no comma again. However, you need to then add the year of publication. After that, only the comma comes. And then we move on to the title of the book, which is, according to this reference example, it's Exploring Everyday Things with R and Ruby. You will see that it's been italicized. So you need to keep that in mind. With books, the title of the book should be in italics. The other important thing about this is it needs to be in sentence case. That is, the initial letter should be capital and the rest should be simple except for any other proper nouns, as in Ruby or R. Then you need to write the name of the publisher and the place of the publication. Okay, so that's with one author. So with two authors, two or more authors, you can have the names same as I mentioned earlier, but with an ampersand prior to the last name of the author. And it goes on, then you have the year of publication with a comma, and then you have the title of the book, which is once again italicized and in sentence case. You need to remember this. If you happen to come across edited books, it's a bit complicated. So you need to look at that, because with the instead of the authors, we consider them as editors. Therefore, if there's only one editor, you include only ed at the end of the author's name within brackets, ed dot and close brackets. Okay, so that's the only difference with edited books. However, there could be other areas. When you come across anything a bit different to what I've told, just refer to this list. Okay, let's move on to the other type then which is going to be journals. So more often you will be getting either books or journals or web documents. Therefore, I'll consider those three today for the time being. So when it comes to journal, once again, we include the name. So it's the same way as we did earlier. So the last name, a comma, and then the initial of the author. Then again, space, no punctuation after that. However, you include the year of publication and then a comma. Then you move on to now there are two titles, unlike in books. Remember that. So title of the article and the title of the journal. So these are the two titles that you will come across when you reference journal articles. When it comes to the title of the article, that should be within single quotation marks, as you see in here. They are in non-italics, but in sentence case. Then you look at the title of the journal, which is italicized and in title case. That means all the words need, the initial letters of all the words of the journal title need to be capitalized. That is called title case. Then you have a comma and you move on to volume and number. Number is the issue, volume is the volume, right? So with volume, you write VOL dot 3, whatever the number, and comma, and with issue, you write NO, which is in lowercase, and NO dot, what's the number? Then comma, and then page numbers. Obviously, it's going to be, if it's going to be more, then you have 2 P's, dot, and the number. So that's all about the most important ones, books and journals, and I'll talk about web documents as well, because you might be using websites for your essay. Having said that, you also need to consider their credibility as well. So when you move on to a web document, there could be web articles with authors or without authors. That is what you need to consider. If you have an author, no problem, you can directly have their name as I was talking. But however, after that, after the year of publication, there could be year of publication. If not, once again, you can have N.D. in simple, lowercase, and then you can continue with the title of that document, which is once again in sentence case and in italics. Okay, and then you need to write the viewed date. Viewed, the word viewed in simple letters, and then the date, which is in numerals, 7th, for example, and February in words, and then 2000. So remember, there are no punctuation in between until the end of the year of publication, where you have a comma. And then you move on to the URL, obviously, since it's a web document. You need to have pointed brackets besides the URL for Harvard referencing. This is a must. Okay, so these are the very few things that you need to remember. And I would also like you to see this reference list as well. So just bear with me. I'm going to share this screen as well. So I'll share this sample reference list. Hope you Hope you can see it. So it's basically the formatting of the reference list. It's going to be left aligned. So you can and need to organize it in alphabetical order. Okay, so you can see in the first place, the first author is Blocker and Branford, and it keeps on going as in the alphabetical order until the end, which is a Wilmot, so until the end of it. So this is how you need to have your reference list in accordance with Harvard Referencing Guide. So always, once you before you submit, it's always good for you to go through it over and over again. Okay, good luck with it, and hope to see a good reference list in your essay.